A Florida man locked employees inside a restaurant and demanded millions of dollars for a Netflix documentary. A Florida woman used bear mace on a 3-year-old after blowing bubbles. A Florida woman is accused of attacking a child who called her Miss Piggy. And a Florida man was caught touching himself, told the police he was Captain Kirk. These are the weird stories on Friday for Weird AF News. They're all from the state of Florida because on Florida Friday, we always do weird news from Florida, our favorite vacation land. Let's go. A Florida man was arrested after locking employees inside a restaurant and demanding millions over a documentary. This story's out of Miami Beach. This Florida man was arrested. The police say he locked some employees inside a Poppy Steak restaurant in Miami. I've never heard of Poppy Steak restaurant in Miami. Are the steaks so good that when you eat it, you go, "Hi, Poppy, so good"? This guy locked the employees in the restaurant, demanded $6 million. He claimed he was owed money for appearing in a Netflix documentary featuring Gordon Ramsay. Well, this all seems reasonable. Makes sense. Why don't they pay the man? I don't understand why the employees didn't pay him $6 million. If he was in the Netflix documentary featuring Gordon Ramsay, shouldn't all the employees pay him $6 million at the steakhouse? This makes so much sense. The rationale of a Florida man finally running congruent to my own brainwaves. Now let's jump into the police report and get some real details about this genius, 59-year-old Florida man Joaquin Nunez. Nunez is probably how it's pronounced, but I tend to have slip-ups. This guy used U-lock to trap workers inside the steakhouse. He claimed he previously worked at the restaurant and stated, "My demands for damages is $6 million. $6 million. I imagine he said it exactly like that. The report states that the restaurant had to hire a locksmith to remove the lock. Nunez was arrested for attempted extortion, criminal mischief, and possession of Adderall. Well, Adderall does make you accomplish your goals, right, if you take enough. It puts you on the daily grind, I find. It's also good for late-night drives home when you just want to conk out. Very, very good. I once went to a party in Los Angeles where people were actually snorting Adderall, which opened up a whole new world. I wasn't even aware that you could do that. But anyways, I'm going off the trails here. This is the end of the article, and I have no further information, but yet so many questions still remain. I don't understand why he thought the employees would be able to pay him $6 million. If he did work in the restaurant business, he knows that they barely make minimum wage here, especially in Florida. You know who might have $6 million? Gordon Ramsay. I mean, why don't you just go kidnap Gordon Ramsay in a steakhouse? You have a better chance of getting your money through extorting Gordon Ramsay, at least this amount, I would say. It also doesn't indicate the name of the documentary. I mean, how are we supposed to research this further? Was he in a documentary with Gordon Ramsay? What was the name? Was it a documentary about the iPoppy Steakhouse? Sounds like a fascinating... I watched a great documentary about food yesterday. It was on General Tso's chicken. I highly recommend it. If you like food documentaries, get into that General Tso chicken film. All right, back to his quote, because I think there's clues in there. He says his demands for damages is $6 million. And what kind of damages occurred on his person as a result of being featured in this Gordon Ramsay documentary? Did he look very bad? It seems to me Gordon yells at people. I don't know. I don't watch too many of his cooking shows, but he's always screaming at people. Maybe this man has Gordon Ramsay PTSD from getting yelled at while he was over a fryer-later or something. And in that case, I mean, asking for millions, maybe. I mean, Netflix has a lot of money. Maybe you could get some damages like this. But I don't think the employees can pay you $6 million, though, sir. I just don't understand this Florida man, per usual. I mean, I've been studying the behavior of Florida man for a number of years, and all I can say definitively is that Florida man is extremely good at inventing new sins every day.
Yes?
A Florida woman sprayed 2 children with bear mace after they were blowing bubbles. Well, let's not judge up top. I mean, how big were these bubbles? What were they made out of? We need to know this. Were they made of volcanic magma? Because that'll do some damage to the environment and the property. Were they made of farts and pukes? What kind of bubbles? We have an 81-year-old Florida lady. She's pretty up there to be active with bear mace. But she's been arrested and accused of using the bear mace against her neighbor's 3- and 6-year-old children after they were blowing bubbles in their own driveway. Well, I mean, was Grandma standing her ground? Because I think in Florida you can pretty much do anything to children if you're standing your ground. Did you spray them with bear mace? Were you standing your ground? That seems to be okay. Did you strike them with a fishing spear? Well, were you standing your ground, Grandma? This lady's name is Ada Anderson. Oh, goodness gracious. She's visibly decomposing Florida style, if you know what I mean. Well, this woman, oh boy. For some reason, the most evil people just seem to live the longest, though, just to torture us, I think. Hate is a real driver to live, apparently. The Florida woman was taken into custody following the incident. She's accused of spraying her bear mace at the girl's mother, April, as well, who told the police that the Florida woman, Ada Anderson, who was white, yelled racial slurs at her children, who are black, during this bear mace incident. Well, all that means is Grandma's going to get a very beefy GoFundMe after this, because people just love to contribute to the personal wealth of racists for some strange reason. I don't get it myself. But then again, I don't understand a lot of what's going on in the world, even after having covered weird news for several years. All right, some more information about the bubbles, because I was curious. I had to pull up another article because the other one didn't tell me what kind of bubbles these were. Were they bubblegum bubbles? Turns out these bubbles were made of soap. They were soapy bubble toys. You know the ones. They come out of a little pink or purple gun. I think you can get them at the dollar store. They seem fun for like a minute if you're a kid. I used to blow bubbles out of a little plastic ring. It was like a stick, and you dumped it in a little plastic container. And then I would blow it in my cousin's eyes. It was a great way to pass the time. We were very bored, so we blew bubbles into each other's eyes. This was before smartphones, obviously, and before I found Grandpa's pornographic magazine, which we had a blast with, and before we discovered cigarettes. Those were nice to smoke behind gravestones in a cemetery. I mean, my childhood was just really adventurous. I made a Chinese star out of the blades of steak knives because my parents wouldn't allow me to buy a Chinese star. I mean, I was really pushing boundaries back then. Okay, let's get the play-by-play. The mother and daughters were playing with these soapy bubbles on their property. That's when the Florida woman Anderson allegedly walked over to the fence separating their properties and just simply began spraying bear mace at the family. Police say there was still evidence on the fence of the bear mace when law enforcement arrived. You all know what bear mace is? Do I need to define the terms? It's a chemical irritant used to repel bears in the wilderness and can be toxic if ingested by human peoples, as you can imagine. It makes bears howl in pain. What do you think it's going to do to a mom and a couple of daughters under the age of 10? When questioned, the Florida woman Anderson stated that her neighbor and the children were running up and down the fence and yelling at her, prompting her to open her porch screen door and spray the mace at them. Deputies noted that her porch is approximately 40 feet away from the fence, among other things that don't justify this abhorrent behavior. Are you guys familiar with the word abhorrent? It's got an ABH in the beginning, but I can pronounce it. April told the media that the harassment has been going on for months with this Florida woman, unfortunately. And the Florida woman has been arrested on 3 counts of battery. This is the second time the Florida woman has been arrested for harassing a neighbor. 2019 records show she was arrested for aggravated assault with a weapon and stalking a previous neighbor. So it sounds like she has a chance of, I don't know, spending a couple of weeks in a Florida prison. They like to let them out. I don't know why. They don't hold on to them, which really is the key. You know, I mean, anybody can catch a criminal. The point is to hold on to them when you get them. Am I right?
Some things are simple. Putting $1,500 per year back in families' pockets, good. Hitting hardworking Americans with a $4.5 trillion tax hike, not good. Unleashing affordable American energy, good. Wasting money on Green New Deal scams, not good. Securing our borders, good. A broken immigration system, not good. America needs lower taxes, more energy, and stronger borders. Congress, the time to act is now. Learn more at protectprosperity.com. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
A Florida woman attacked a child on a plane for calling her Miss Piggy. This Florida woman is facing felony child abuse charges after the police say she attacked a young boy aboard an Allegiant Airlines flight after the child reportedly made fun of her weight. The woman's name is Christy Lee Crampton, age 46. She had just vacationed at Disney World in Orlando, Florida. The flight was set to take off from Orlando. While aboard the flight, several witnesses and Crampton herself told the police that a child repeatedly hurled insults at Crampton, calling her, quote, fat and Miss Piggy, and saying that she couldn't fit in the airplane seat. Well, I mean, on the bright side, it's nice to know that kids still watch the Muppets. You know, I didn't think they were doing that anymore. I thought they moved on to some more sophisticated entertainment. So it's nice to know that the Muppets are still in the zeitgeist. Okay, this Crampton lady, this is the Florida lady. Oh boy, there's a photo of her. I'm not going to say she looks like completely like Miss Piggy, but on some level the child isn't wrong. I'm still on the side of Miss Piggy because this kid sounds like a bratty little menace. And as I always ask, where are the parents? Where? Oh, never mind. It's Florida. The parents are drunk and doing the horizontal shuffle on a Disney shuttle. All right, back to the play-by-play here. Witnesses claim that Crampton began striking the child with her fist and hitting him over the head with her water bottle as well. What is the water bottle made out of? Was it aluminum or was it plastic? You need more information there. She allegedly slammed the child's head into one of the windows of the airplane. Wow, just like in the movies. I've always wanted to do that to a crying baby. I'm kidding. I didn't want to do that to a crying baby. I mean, in a fantasy land, I imagined doing it, but those crying babies on a flight will just make you lose your mind, you know what I mean? Okay, so she slammed the child's head into one of the windows of the airplane with the child using his arms to cover his head. The plane reportedly did not even leave the gate before Crampton was taken off and arrested inside the airport. The police are not giving the child's name or even saying what age the child is. Still, Crampton told the police that the child was, quote, very rude and disrespectful during her family's trip to Disneyland, and that after he called her fat, she allegedly took his phone away. Oh, she's close to this child. They were traveling together. They're perhaps in the same family. Oh, the Florida family values. The arrest report states that the child shoved her arm off the armrest several times, and that's when she began smacking him. This child is a complete menace, like Dennis. I'm not saying it's justifiable to then beat him, but, I mean, you know, back in the days of the beatings, the parents would have beat this child. I mean, how else is the child? The child can learn other ways. The child's not going to learn other ways, I'm telling you right now. I was beat. Look at me. I'm great. Look at I'm very respectful. I would never call a woman who reminds me of Miss Piggy, not to her face anyways. You know, I might snicker in the back of the plane and tell one of my buddies. I'm not going to tell her to her face. I respected my adults on some level, and it was because I was afraid of a beating. What would have otherwise been my motivation to not make fun of people to their face? The beatings, man. It's the beatings. It always comes back to the beatings. I was beat with a board. And it had been painted with some words. It said Board of Education. I mean, the puns were going on real early in my life, and that's what you want. Because the puns take a little of the pain away when you're getting beat with a board. At least I get to have a little laugh afterward. That's no lie. I got beat with a board called the Board of Education. That is no lie. Now we have a witness in this story who claimed the woman was not correcting the child, but instead was abusing the child, is what they say. Is this a parent-son relationship? Police are not specifying what relationship, if any, the child had with Crampton, but she has been ordered by the court to have no contact with him. And just like that, you lose custody. And now the Florida child's really going to have to learn his lessons in the outside world, and probably going to find that the outside world really isn't going to put up with this for much longer. A Florida man was caught touching himself in a sexual manner in public and told the police he's Captain Kirk from Star Trek. This is a Clearwater, Florida tale. A Florida man was caught masturbating at a bus stop. Told the police he was a fictitious character made famous by actor William Shatner in Star Trek. You know the one. The name's Kirk, Captain Kirk. Or in this instance, the name's Jerk, Captain Jerk. All right, let's jump in and get some of these juicy details. Let's find out what his motivation was. Probably getting ready to meet his intergalactic purple girlfriends. You know, Captain Kirk had all those colorful girlfriends. Police say they received a report of a man masturbating at a bus stop. Of course it's a bus stop in Florida where all the magic happens. That's where you can find a loving partner, from what I hear in Florida. When the police arrived, they found a man sitting on a bench touching himself underneath his shorts. Yeah, there's underneath one's shorts and then underneath a Florida man's shorts. Two different experiences, usually. I think the miracle here is that the shorts were still on his person, because usually the Florida man isn't so considerate of those around him. Just the shorts go off, and then it's a situation where it's out there. It's out there. It's like, what are you doing? Oh, don't mind me. I'm Captain Jerk, and I'm with the Starship Exposure. I'm waiting to be transferred to the ISS, the International Spank Ship. Okay, enough terrible jokes. The arrest report says that the police asked the Florida man what he was doing. The man claimed to be scratching himself. You know, the old "I'm scratching myself" excuse. Florida man's always saying he's scratching himself. Sometimes in his defense he is scratching themselves because Florida men have fleas, but then there's instances like this. The arrest report says it was, quote, obvious that the man was masturbating at the bus stop. Oh, there's a photo of this lovely Florida citizen. My goodness, the hair on this maniac. These guys have such amazing hair. He's got "I don't give a damn" hair, which is amazing. I wish I had hair like this. The "I don't give a damn" hair. I see homeless people with amazing heads of hair sometimes. I'm just baffled by how you do that. I mean, I try to take steps to maintain the hair that I have, So, I mean, I'm always astonished that someone that never takes care of their hair has such amazing hair like this Florida man. According to the report, let's continue, the man told the police his name was James Tiberius Kirk, which happens to be the name of William Shatner's character on the popular Star Trek television series and subsequent movies, if you didn't know, if you live under a rock for some reason. It turned out that the man was neither an admiral with the Starfleet nor the captain of the USS Enterprise. His name is James Budrick. But is he a Trekkie? It doesn't say if he's a Trekkie. This seems like Trekkie behavior, touching yourself, thinking about Captain Kirk. The 56-year-old Florida man was arrested on charges of disorderly conduct and providing a false name to law enforcement. Well, if you're going to provide a false name to law enforcement, it better be a cool one like Captain Kirk. You don't want to say, my name's Rick Moore or something. You want to say, I'm Captain Kirk. Or you want to say, I'm Jesus, which a lot of them say. All right, that's the end of this article about the lovely Florida man trying to be a tour guide. Of all the charges, I'm surprised they didn't have one of my favorites in there, which is lewd and lascivious conduct. Because when you're wanking at a bus stop, that is totally lewd and lascivious conduct. Or maybe it's just accepted in Florida. A place where you can boldly come where no Florida man has come before.
This episode is brought to you by eBay. We all have that piece. The one that's so you've basically become known for it. And if you don't yet, fashionistas, you'll find it on eBay. That Miu Miu red leather bomber, the Custo Barcelona cowboy top, or that Patagonia fleece in the 2017 colorway. All these finds are all on eBay, along with millions of more main character pieces backed by authenticity guarantee. eBay is the place for pre-loved and vintage fashion. eBay, things people love.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for listening. Appreciate you being here. And I want to thank everybody that sent me Florida-centric stories the last 48 hours. Very helpful. I appreciate it. I'd like to read a review that I got. I get so few. This one's on Apple Podcasts. It was written by Judd, Judd, and then many numbers. Hey, Jonesy, 5 stars. Look at that. Judd gave me 5 stars. Isn't that gratuitous? I do believe that's called gratuitous. Yeah, I didn't make that word up. That's a real word. You looked that up. Don't ask me to spell it. I can't spell it. I can't. There's so many words I can't spell. Did you ever see that Patrice O'Neill stand-up comedy bit where he has a hard time spelling? He's like, if someone held my mom at gunpoint and was like, spell banana. He'd be like, B-A, and then... And then B-A, and then, I love you, Ma. I love you so much. Such a good bit. May he rest in peace, Patrice O'Neill, one of my favorite comics of all time. Okay, so back to this review that I got, this nice review from Judd. Judd wrote, "It's me again, Judd Adams. If you forgot who I am, I'm a 14-year-old from Massachusetts. How do people even get away with a lot of Indians in a building, and I can't even cheat off a test? That's all. Good luck with your life, man." It was a run-on sentence. So Judd, stay in school, buddy. It's you need to learn punctuation. But I like your enthusiasm, and I'm very flattered. All right, and that you enjoy the podcast, because I don't know a lot of teenagers that listen to Weird AF News, so that's super cool. I also like that you're like me, you're a masshole. So, go Patriots, baby, go Patriots. Anyways, if you want to leave me a review, it's quite helpful, and I'll read it, whether it's positive or negative. I'll give it a read on the show. I like them. You can do it on Amazon. You can do it on Apple. There's some other places if you dig around a little bit. If you write a review, just please screenshot it and email me, because I'd love to see it. Sometimes I miss them. I dig in a little bit, but there's other platforms I'm not aware of, I believe. So my email's funnyjones@gmail.com, or you can put them in my Instagram. You can DM me on Instagram @funnyjones as well. I hope you're having a lovely weekend, or you had one, or you are going to have one. Did I already say all three? Present tense, future tense, past tense. I think I covered all of that. Anyways, I got shows all over the weekend. I got shows over the weekend. I'm in Long Beach. I'm in Hollywood. I'm in downtown LA. So all the shows are on my Instagram page @funnyjones. If you would like to attend, it would be nice to meet you. Lastly, if you would like to support the show by keeping me caffeinated, buying me a coffee, such things are very much appreciated and welcomed in the Weird AF News production studio, which is basically a closet. Anyways, go to weirdafnews.com, the official website. Click on Buy a Coffee or join the Patreon, or go to patreon.com/weirdafnews. I also put links in the description of this podcast for those places, so you can just click on those and go there and support. That is all. Captain Kirk, signing off.